Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What the Quad. As much as I enjoyed being on the beach, I did actually miss, doing these. So I am very excited to be back for a summer special, I guess you could call it that. Uh, but thank you so much to the pilots who accepted through their busy summer vacay to come and be guests on the show. So we have AKDrones from Quad Force One and Bless FPV from SDT Perpetuumcoin and Ion FPV from China Dragons. Welcome, everyone. Maybe starting with AK, you can tell us where you're joining us from today.
I'm AKDrones. I'm from Palmer, Alaska.
Oh, wow. I did not know you were in
Yep.
Alaska. That's like
Way up
there.
north.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were more continental,
Nope.
mid-US. Cool. Blessed, where are you joining us from?
I'm blessed and I'm from Spain. Barcelona.
One of my favorite cities in the world.
Ah,
It's beautiful there. And Ayan, where are you joining us from?
Hello everybody, I'm Ion FPV. I'm joining from Bangalore, India.
Cool. So we have a really eclectic mix today. That's nice. And all from different teams as well. So it's great that you'll be able to give us, your perspectives of drone racing, also, what the drone scene is like where you're from, and more information about the teams you're a part of. So we're really excited to have you. I guess the first question to all of you is the really obvious one, but how did you get into FPV, drone racing, the whole scene? What sparked it for you? So, AK, you can start and then we can kind of turn.
Got into it from a RC club at our school, and the guy who ran the club also flew drones, and he I saw him fly one, and I just got into it. He helped
Oh,
me build my first drone, and been flying ever since.
wow. And how long ago was this? Sorry?
That was 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, so you've been in the
Been a
scene for a
while.
while. And did
Yeah.
you start straight away with racing, or did you do things like freestyle and just flying in your garden for fun
Yeah, I just
when you
started
started?
flying for fun, and then I got into the racing scene from our local chapter up here,
Okay.
and then I just got really serious about it about a
Is
year
it,
in.
I mean, it shows, you're now racing as a pro, so obviously
Yep.
getting serious pays off.
Yeah.
And in Alaska, is there a big drone racing scene? Because you were saying there's a local chapter, so do you get a lot of people there, or is it still
Um,
kind of a niche thing?
it's pretty small. It's 4 or 5 people. It's really kind of died off in these last few years because the guys who ran it sort of faded out, unfortunately. But
Okay. Well, maybe you can start running it.
yeah, that's the
One day.
goal.
Um, Blessed. Hi. So I know we've had
hi.
you as a guest on this show before. So those who have been loyal watchers, I don't think that's a word, but will have seen that my very first ever What the Quad that I had no idea how to do. Blessed was one of the guests who helped guide me through it. So we appreciate that. But for those who haven't watched or didn't watch last year, how did you get into FPV and drone racing?
I start with my friends. We buy a little drone and we racing without FPV and we was racing in his home and then I was checking internet drone racing and I like that. So I buy new drones, more drones, and now I'm here. And more or less 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow, so you've also been around for a while. I love that you were flying in a house. Did you break
Yes.
anything when you started?
Yes. I broke more drones, but yes, I have broken some figures figures and some objects, but not more. The drones are little here
Okay,
in.
so it wasn't dangerous. And Ion, how did you start in FPV drone racing? Where does this come from?
So basically, YouTube. One time, YouTube just recommended me a video and was like, "Hey, that looks fun." And yeah, I really loved it. I really loved watching everyone race. Close racing, interesting racing. And then got onto the sim, and then COVID hit exactly at that point. So I had a lot of time to practice. Yeah.
Which sim did you start on? You're allowed to not say
Uh,
DCL.
yeah. No, I started on DRL, I guess, and then I went on to Velocidrone because the local DCL
Okay.
supplies that, and then I came over to DCL. Now I'm here.
We're obviously the best one if anyone is asking. Definitely 100% the best one. Now, I think they all have their strengths and weaknesses. I mean, from the feedback that I've heard from various pilots, different sims do some things well and some things less well. And, we'll obviously always recommend DCL the game because that's literally my job. But just as a general tip to all want to be pilots, get a sim and just practice on any sim, all sims. Just get the practice time in. That's how you become a better pilot. I feel like this is probably what you guys were going to say. So, um, do you have any tips in particular on DCL the game on how someone can get better at flying in DCL the game? Ion, you can
Uh,
maybe go.
yeah. So in DCL, the quads are a bit. You need to look at the momentum a lot of those quads. You need to ease into the turns, be calm, no drastic shift movements, and be very very precise, especially in DCL. So yeah, just precision and then keeping up the momentum through turns. That's very important.
Good to know. And Bless, do you have any other pieces of advice for anyone who wants to get better at DCL the game?
Yes, I think the best for mejorar, ¿verdad? For improve for
Hmm.
improving. I think is more hours, and take a good rate. If you are comfortable with your rate, I think you can go more fast. And the lines in the DCL is the more important. You have to have a good line and go smooth. Uh, if you don't go smooth, the quad gets prop wash and you go more slow. And I recommend it rates and good lines.
Thank you. And AK, do you have anything you want to add in terms of recommendations?
I agree with everything they said, as well as just make sure you're comfortable getting close to gates, because it's the only way you're gonna get good lines. Really know where the what is it called, the in game the hitbox is on all the gates.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I stay as far away from them as possible. And then I go hit the other one because I'm trying to. Um, so how did all of you join DCL? I think all of you got completely different selection processes. So AK, what kind of happened? When did you join DCL, and how did Quad Force One pick you?
So joined pretty much at the time of the draft. A few months earlier, me and Jake Hammer, our other team pilot,
Mhm.
he got on DCL and was playing it a little bit. He was like, he told me I should give it a try, and I was a little reluctant, but I got on and I found it to be really fun and just kept flying a lot for the last few months and just worked hard through the draft and then yeah, they picked me up as one of their free picks from Quad Force One.
Okay. So, just a reminder to everyone that we do drafts. The teams are also allowed technically to do free picks, so picking people who don't necessarily take part in the draft selection to join their team before the season and now during the mid-season break. There's a limit on how many people they can pick, and so the draft selection is definitely the best way to get picked by a DCL team. By flying on it, teams will see you and will want to then contact you, and like AK, you'll end up joining a team. Had you ever met any of your either Matt, your manager, or any of your teammates? Have you ever met them at a live event in the US somewhere?
Actually, yes, I have met all of them except Birkin, I think, in real life. I didn't really know Matt before I joined the team, but since joining the team, I've gotten to know all of them much better.
And do you feel like there's a good vibe? Do you guys all get on well with each
Yeah,
other?
definitely. It's definitely a lot of fun.
Cool. It I always get good vibes from the Quad Force One team. I feel like you guys are just all vibing. Like you're just there for the fun.
Yep, pretty much.
And Blessed, how did you end up joining DCL? So Spain Drone Team was a new team to become an official DCL team before they'd sporadically competed in DCL. So last year they started. And when and how did you join Spain Drone Team?
I was competing in a league of Spain, Iberian Drone League, and I was competing with another team, UPCT. It's an university, and in the next season, Spain Drone Team see how I fly and picks me and Siskai and Roma, and they SDT is Spain Drone Team see us in a real drone in a real races, and then pick us for the DCL.
Amazing. So you've been here since last year as well.
Yes.
You joined us in 2021, yeah. And Ion, how did you end up joining DCL?
So I got picked by China Dragons through the draft. I placed 10th in the draft this year. And yeah, after that, a few days later, I just got picked.
It's really exciting. Just wanted to note that Ion has set a mini record of being, don't know if it's a record, but he is the first ever Indian pilot in the entire Drone Champions League ever. So you can be proud of yourself for representing your nation on the international stage like that.
Yeah.
So we can watch the video of Ion doing your draft qualification. This is what got you into DCL.
Yep.
So how did you feel about this track? What were your thoughts, basically?
Oh, this track had almost every single element in it, like major element. And it was
Mm-hmm.
a really, really fun track to fly. Challenging, but also fun. You can grind on this track for hours and not get bored. So yeah, I love this track.
What was your favorite element in it?
Uh, I think after the start gate, you go to the dive and then up there, it'll come again here. But yeah, that element I think was amazing. So yeah, this
And
whole
this,
section.
oh, okay. And what was
Yeah.
the part of this that you found the most challenging?
So at the time, the gates that are coming up here, these ones,
Mm-hmm.
this was a bit challenging for me because you had to stick to that line and you also had to take it fast. If you take it slow, then you lose a lot of time over there. So that part was one of the more challenging parts for me at the time.
How do you not have your head spinning after doing this a million times?
Just practice.
I watch these videos and every time I'm like, how? But it looks like you had fun and you did well, so that's really great. We
Yeah.
have a few audience questions that I want to take, but I think one that's popping up because of our very sophisticated new feature. How many drones do you all currently own? So, okay, maybe you can begin.
I think I have 7 or 8,
Wow.
all or 6 for racing, and I think 2 freestyle drones at the moment.
Do you prefer racing or freestyle?
Racing for sure. Just I don't know, something about going through gates at very quickly is just a lot of fun.
And for you, what do you feel is the main difference between the two in terms of the sensations that you have?
Just the weight and because the freestyle drone's pretty heavy, it doesn't like to move around very much, but
Okay.
the racing drones really just want to go all the time, as fast as they'll
Okay.
go.
Fair enough. And Blessed, how many drones do you have?
I have three racing quads, one of freestyle, three for HD, for cinematic, and two racing tinnies. Small, total 11.
Oh, wow. You have like a collection. Is it common to have that many drones? Like actual.
Yes, because I use 3 of races. I use
Yeah.
all. I think it's just it's correct. 3 drones of racing,
Mm-hmm.
and one of freestyle. I use 2, and for cinematic, for indoor, I have 2 for indoor, and for the exterior, I have 2, and
Okay.
tennis for racing in the indoors in small races
Okay.
are.
Do you prefer racing with the small, the tiny whoops, or with the bigger drones?
No, I prefer bigger drone, but in small drones indoor also is funny.
One day I will try one of those. Ion, how many drones do you have?
So I have 2 race quads and 1 tiny whoop, and that's it.
Okay. What do you feel is the main difference? I mean, obviously, the weight, but do you kind of from a sensation point of view when you're piloting it, what do you feel is different between the two?
Um, to be honest, they're very, very different. Tiny whoops have little prop guards on them, so it's basically a wing of plastic so that even if you crash into something, the props don't explode. So yeah, tiny whoops have prop guards, and your normal 5-inch drones, they do not have that. Plus, obviously, there's the weight, there's the power, and everything. Even the ESC software all of that is very different from a 5-inch. So yeah, they fly very differently, but still very fun.
Which is your favorite between the two?
I have to go with a tiny whoop actually because I don't get to fly the 5 inches much. So yeah,
Okay.
but I like flying the 5-inch big quads, but then I just need a place to fly them.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about that in a bit, but a question from Kite FPV. So, thumb, pinch, or hybrid? For those who don't know things about drones like me, this is a reference to when you have a drone transmitter, so the thingy that you use to control your drone. You can hold it, like the little stick thingies, in different ways. So either you put your thumb on it and you go like, or you like pinch it and you go like, and sometimes you do. Oh, see, we have a live demonstration that is very helpful.
So this is a pinch.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hybrid because you're using both.
That's what a hybrid
And
is.
that's thumb. Yeah, I
So
fly
which
hybrid.
one? Okay. And Blessed, how do you fly?
I go with pinch too. With pinch. I start with thumbs,
Mm-hmm.
but I see the technique for YouTube, and I test pinch, and it's more smooth. Pinch,
That is
I
a
think,
big.
is I think it's more smooth because here
Okay.
you have one finger more.
So you can control it better.
Yeah, I think yes. More smooth.
And AK, how do you fly?
Well, I stand out, I guess. I thumb. I think thumbs are much better.
Do
I'm not
you
sure
not
why,
like
but
destroy your thumb by doing that?
I've had some stick ends I've cut big gashes in my thumbs with, but
That does
but
not. Have you ever Ion, have you ever tried thumb or did you straight away go straight to hybrid?
No, actually, I used to fly thumbs for quite a while, but then I really felt the hybrid was much better because you can feel the stick a little bit more, and you have an extra finger, as Bless said, to help you control the stick movements more precisely. So yeah, I really think hybrids were better for me.
Fair enough. I guess to each their own. A question from the Twitch chat as well, from Rue. I can't find it now, but it was, oh yeah. So Rue is curious if there are many in real life drone races in India. Ian, do you think you could talk about that?
Yeah, so yep, there are many races that happen in India. We have I don't know if this is many, but we have around 10 to 12 races that are all India wide, and everybody from every state comes over, and we have an amazing time flying. Apart from that, we also have tiny meetups here and there, 3, 4 people just coming around and having fun. So yeah, we do
In
have a lot of
your
people flying here.
in your local vicinity, kind of within, your city and cities not too far away, is there a big enough community that you guys can practice together in real life?
Where I stay, not many people, but
Mm-hmm.
luckily a lot of people in the past year have got into drone racing and they're building quads now. So we are planning to have a meet pretty soon, and it's all going to be new people. It's going to be fun. I'm looking
Oh,
forward
that's
to it.
amazing. It's cool to see more and more people joining the sport. I love it, especially when they first discover. Producer Freshie can attest to this, that they start kind of not being sure, and the community is so helpful to get them be able to be better, and it's really great before that. I had another question, kind of follow up to that, but I forgot what it was. So with these real life races, do you feel like in India, real life racing is really what's the most popular and people don't go in simulators that much? Or are they still quite popular? Simulators, I mean.
Yeah, both are pretty popular. Like we have a lot of real life races and we have a lot of sim pilots as well. When it comes to racing, I think simulator is actually more popular. Of course, freestyle, everybody's flying real life, but when it comes to racing, yeah, simulators are a bit more popular than real life.
Okay. Because we don't have a lot of Indian pilots in DCL. It's one of the reasons why we were like all celebrating when you joined, because we love adding diversity. And yeah, it's just interesting to find out more about the drone racing community in a country that I quite frankly don't know what the drone racing scene is like there, because AK and Blessed in the US and Spain, they have their own DCL team, and we know a lot of pilots in all the pro teams are from those countries, and so we do know a bit about the background there. But it would be great to be able to have more presence in India, get more Indian pilots to join, and possibly one day, who knows, if we go back to in real life racing, when we go back, to be able to. How cool would it be to race at the Taj Mahal? I'm sure there are other really cool things
Yes.
in India, but the Taj Mahal is kind of a thing that I think everyone knows, and that would be very like around the. I mean, it's probably like a sacred type venue that you couldn't do that with,
Yeah.
but it would make for a really cool course if you go around like the thingies.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
That would make for.
you guys should organize that. That will be fun.
Jess advocating for destroying UNESCO heritage sites since whenever I started this. But as I was saying, okay, so kind of in similar, you were saying that in Alaska there is, a little bit of presence, but for most tournaments you would then go to kind of the mainland of the USA,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Do you ever leave the USA for tournaments, or is it?
I haven't left yet, but hopefully someday in the future, when DCL goes back to real life, hopefully we'll get to go leave the country.
I look forward to that too. Blessed, so I know you do a lot of national tournaments in Spain. Do you ever do tournaments out of Spain, or do you mostly stay in the country?
No, I only make races here in Spain. I don't go out. It's more any sponsor pays me now, and I'm comfortable with the races of here with my friends. I think the races here are good in Spain.
Is it easy in Spain to practice, or do you need a special permit, or can you just go to a park and just set up and practice? How does that work?
And you can go in a park, but there are zones and you can fly because it's near an airport, and you need to check this in the map.
Okay.
And I can go in the park. You need to yeah, you need to take care with the people and this and go out of CTR.
Of course, it's important to be aware to not crash into anyone. Ian, what is practicing in real life like for you? Do you have a space, a garden or something where you can do it? Do you go to a park? How does that work?
So to fly in India, you have to go pretty much out of the city. You can't fly it in the city because you
Okay.
can't fly it near any hospitals or any government building or anything as such. So yeah, but you can fly it in institutions, so like universities or schools or colleges. You can fly it provided they give you permission, and
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing for me because I'll be going to university and hopefully they will let me fly there.
How did your exams go, by the way?
Yeah, they were good. They were good actually, better than I expected.
Are you one of those people who walks into an exam like, yeah, this is super chill? Or do you walk in like super sweaty, like, oh my God, this is the end of my life?
No, I try to keep it really chill. I think of exams just like how I think of drones actually. Before
Okay.
before the race or before the exam, be calm, be in your zone, don't stress, and just go and do it.
Life advice from Ion. Be calm and just do it. Great
Yep.
stuff. AK, what's it like in Alaska? Is it in the US? Is it kind of dependent on the state what the rules are, or is it nationwide?
It's pretty standard. There isn't much to it. Can't really fly within 5 miles of an airport, and so I just go to any park nearby and fly.
And do you have
Really,
your gates and things ready, or how do you kind of go for practicing? Do
uh,
you go with friends? What's the general vibe?
sometimes I go with friends. Most of the time I go alone. All my gates just live
Mhm.
in the back of my car. So I just go wherever and pull them all out and set up a track.
Does it all fit in the back of a car?
Probably not a regular car, but I have a big SUV type vehicle. Yeah.
That's yeah, I mean, to be fair, in Alaska, I don't know, I probably have stereotypes of Alaska, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a lot of middle of nowhere where an SUV sounds like it would actually be very useful.
Yeah, it's kind of the middle of nowhere, but very icy. Lots of
Yeah,
sliding around when driving.
but do you have specialized like tires and things for that?
We have studded tires. They have like little metal knobs on the tread, so they just grip the ice a little bit better, and that's about it.
So it kind of works, but like
Yeah,
not
it
really.
it works, but it could work better.
You'd think with all the money automobile industry invests into research and things, they could come up with better tires, but yeah. Kind of follow-up question about the drones. Have any of you ever built a 7-inch drone? Because the DCL drone kind of canopy that we use are 7-inch, I think. They're bigger than, regular 5-inch drones. And so they're obviously something you'll need to fly. So I know in DCL, the game, you fly a 7-inch drone, but have you ever built and or flown one in real life? Okay, you can start.
Yeah, so there's becoming a league in America that's starting to get into the 7-inch racing,
Mhm.
but I haven't built one yet. But I hope to do it soon. Looks like a lot of fun.
Have you ever flown one, like a
Y-
friend's or something?
yes, I have flown a couple. Got to fly a DRL quad and some very similar.
Okay. Blessed, have you ever flown a 7-inch quad?
Yes, I have a one long range quad, 7 inch, and I have flown there. And my friend have also, I think, to long range, and I fly only long range of 7 inch. Racing quads, no, of 7 inch. I want to test one, but I only have tested long range.
Okay. So you haven't raced yet with a 7-inch quad?
No, not yet.
Okay. And Ion, have you ever tried to build or flown a 7-inch quad?
No, not yet, but hopefully for DCL, the offline
We look
season
forward.
should start, and that time I can fly 7 inches.
I have heard they are fun. Star confirmed it, and Rue is saying that she's working on building one now. So slowly but surely, we will migrate to real life, and you guys will be able to race them for real at some point, hopefully. I keep saying every year, I'm like, next year. And then the next year, there's more COVID. And I'm like, why? But we do promise you, our dear audience and our favorite pilots, that we are genuinely working on getting DCL back to real life. There is nothing we would love more, really nothing. And some things are just unfortunately beyond our control. But as soon as real life racing gets back, you will be the first to know, and we will be very exciting to bring it back to you. Another question from the audience. You guys have great questions today, audience. Thank you. I appreciate it. Would you rather have the following in each track? So 40 plus cactuses, 5 moving trains, or 20 moving chairlifts? So, or one big chimcan. I have no idea what a chimcan is. Does anyone know what a chimcan is? Okay, RevCorp, if you could maybe in the chat just like precise what a chimcan is. But so essentially in reference to each environment, so cactuses is probably what, oil bando. To be fair, the trains are also oil bando, and moving chairlifts are lax. So which would you prefer? AK, which is
I
the least worst of all of these?
I think I'd prefer the 40 plus cactuses. The moving elements are pretty scary.
Yeah, I do feel like that one. If it's just one moving element, does it change your answer?
It depends on how it's set up, I guess. If the gate's moving with the element, but that's not
Fair enough.
usual, but just depends on how it's set up.
I got that. Ion, what would your least
Similar
worst
answer
one
to
be?
AKDrones. Similar answer to AK, actually. If the gate's moving, then definitely the 40 cactuses. But if there's a train moving and then there's a gate somewhere else, that's fine. No,
By
no
the way,
moving gates.
RevCorp just replied about what the chimcan is a cute chicken. I'd prefer the cute chicken just because I get a cute chicken. I just stop and look at the cute chicken. That's my personal answer in case anyone cares. Blessed, which is the obstacle that you think is the least worst? So which obstacle would you rather have between lots of cactuses, trains, or chairlifts?
I think I prefer trains. Are
Okay.
more funny. Cactus in movement, I think is a little of strange. I prefer trains.
That's so why so you don't mind if it's a moving object? Oh, you're mute.
No. I don't care if with movement I can throw about, no problem. If he has movement, no problem.
Mad skills. So if you guys were as skilled as Blessed, if it's moving, you wouldn't be. So, just shows who's the superior pilot here. I'm just saying. Hashtag no hate. Star saying, I'd rather take a moving obstacle instead of an invisible cactus. I was just informed that this question comes from the fact that there is a track where there's suddenly a cactus that appears out of nowhere, and it makes it a very difficult track. So it's probably Oil Bando because I don't see any other map that would have cactuses. Cacti? Multiple cactuses, cacti, right?
Yeah.
Today we are
Yeah, I
learning
think so.
why the English language is so difficult and why we all fully empathize with Blessed because English is difficult. The plural of cactus is cacti because that makes so much sense. And with dice, isn't it the opposite? It's 1 die, 2 dice. Something like that. I don't know which one. No, I think it's 1 die. Anyway, moving back to drones. About the 2022 season. So all three of you are in interesting teams for very different reasons, and it's been very exciting to watch all of you fly. So Ion, it was your first race at Reuter in Austria, so that was really exciting for you. We'll get back to that. But maybe we can start with Quad Force One. Do you think you guys will ever be rid of the third place curse? Because
Definitely.
I
Most definitely
love
gotta happen
you.
soon.
Sorry?
It's gotta happen soon. We're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna shake it next race. We're gonna win. We're gonna get the win.
I really hope that for you because you're such a talented team, and it just seems like someone did a curse of some sort on you because it's not like you don't have the talent to win. But so what is, I mean, without revealing details, obviously, is there anything that you as a team have decided to focus on, change the way you practice or something in order to be able to get that first place?
Really just gonna try to come back after the break a lot faster than we have. Really just practice hard. Not gonna try to change too much. Just make sure we're in tip-top shape for winning.
And do you think the fact that you have a summer break where everyone is racing, well, not a lot of the team are racing in real life events at the moment, do you think that will help, or the fact that they're racing different kinds of quads in different settings might be more of a, I wouldn't call it a step back, but might make it a bit more challenging to get back to racing on DCL the game?
I say it's probably going to be good for the team. It's just going to give everyone a good break, help us refocus for when the DCL comes back in September.
That's great. And Ian, so like I said, China Dragons has been an up and down performer this season. Happy to see you're back on the up now. So your first race, and you guys got a podium position. You went into the small final, you won. We actually have footage of your small final lap, I believe, at some point. If in the meantime, how does it feel? There we go. So, what can you tell us about your small final? What did this kind of race feel like for you?
Oh, this race was very, very exciting. There was a lot of pressure here because it was the small final, and we were a bit behind at this stage. I think SDT had done an amazing job at round one, and they had got a 1-2 lockout on us. So me and Kenny both knew that we had to, put out our best performance there. And yeah, this was one of the best races I did on that day, and it was amazing.
Yeah, you got second place, I believe.
Yeah, me and Kenny got a 1-2, which equaled the points with SDT. So that
That.
was really good.
Oh, look at your cute little smile.
Yeah.
That must have felt, yeah, really exciting knowing that you guys had been able to contribute to a podium position
Yeah.
on your first race as well.
Yep. The start of the day, it wasn't going a lot. It wasn't going well for me, at least. The
Mm-hmm.
team was doing pretty good, but I really felt that I could have put in a bit more effort. But then I think when the map changed happened, I just, refocused, calmed myself down, and the team helped. Everybody in the team chat were encouraging me, and they were giving me a little bit of hints that I could use to calm myself down. And once the map change happened, it was really good, and we got a podium, so that's amazing.
It's really, really good. Just a small asterisk on that, but even if you're not part of a pro team, joining a team of any kind, even if it's at the most amateur level, we really encourage that. There's that feature in DCL the game, but even not necessarily on the game, just anywhere. The help that you get when you work as a team, like you said, you started the day a bit uncertain and your teammates were there to cheer you up and look at how you ended the day. So really always great to be part of a team. And when you started, so before you started your day, what did you expect your day was going to be like? Well, what were your thoughts before it, even the practice or anything?
Yeah, I was just trying to do my best, trying to keep it calm and composed. I knew that I just had to go there and put my best out and just hope that everything works out at the end. Yeah, I knew that it was going to be a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun. I had an amazing race overall. So yeah.
Yeah, Rue was saying love team trials. They are great. If you want to be part of a team, you can join the DCL Discord. I'll put the Discord link in the chat, but there's a thingy, a channel for teams. If you're looking for a team or if you're a team that's open, share over there and you can join a team and get better. Blessed. So you guys last year didn't have the best debut season. It was unfortunate. This year it's been going a lot better. In the second race, Lux, I think, you even beat X-Blades, so former world champions, great team. And from there on, you keep going up. You now got to the small final against China Dragons. Even though you didn't win, what's next for SDT? What are you aiming to win the season? How are you kind of going forward here?
I think we want to take our best place, but we don't have any what's it, any any goal. We want to to take our best, and it's our objective. Day a day, we want to go more best, and
Mm-hmm.
we want to get better, and it's the final objective.
We look forward to getting you, seeing SDT keep climbing. It's very exciting to see a new team, doing well, racing against the big names and winning. And it's this year there are already 3 races, so I think mathematically it might be difficult for you to win. But next year, I think we can expect big things from SDT. I look forward to it. AK, it was your first DCL season this season, so you flew in the very first race to Vaduz, right? I don't have the entire roster in mind.
I flew at Lax and I flew at Roida, not sure how you say it.
In German, I think you pronounce it heute. You roll the R weirdly because Germanic is weird like that. But you can just say Reuter.
All right, Reuter.
Or Austria, if we don't have any other tracks in Austria, so that might be easier. So in your first race in Lax, how did it feel to be part of your first DCL race?
It was definitely scary, pretty nerve-wracking, but had a lot of fun. Feel like I could have done a little better, but pretty happy with it overall. Glad we got a third.
I mean, third is excellent. It doesn't sound great, but it's considering who you're competing, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Do you feel like on a personal level, your performance got better between race 2 and race 3? Or do you think that's level, or how do you kind of evaluate yourself?
I think it definitely got better. I definitely changed up how I was flying for race 3. Just focused on going fast and not really holding back as much as I did in race 2.
Fair enough. And what would you say the secret to that is? Is it just practice in general, or did you have someone give you tips on how to be able to practice better? What was the way that what's the best method essentially if someone's trying to improve to be able to improve?
Obviously, I got some tips from my teammates and then just practiced using the tips they gave me, and definitely helped.
10 out of 10 Quad Force 1 teammates.
Yep.
Do you often practice as a team in DCL the game, or is it more everyone practices on their side and every now and then you're able to practice together?
It's a little more every now and then we practice together, and we mostly practice on our own, but we try to get some team practices where we can.
Who is your favorite team member to practice with?
Don't make me pick. That's gonna be hard. Don't wanna hurt any feelings.
Rue's in the chat, so you can just say Rue, and this way you'll. I don't think anyone will be hurt, but there is indeed a great team. I get you.
Yes.
Blessed, if you have one, who would you say is your favorite teammate to practice with?
I practice with all the teammates, but also I practice with Roma and sometimes with Siskai too. And we have also with Alex Zamora, Silvio, and Danube. It's all.
Do
I
they? Oh, sorry.
I
Do
don't
they
have a
all
favorite.
live? Sorry. Do they live near you?
What? Yes. Siskai live. Well, now is in Madrid, but Siskai was 20 minutes from me. But now is in Madrid. But we practice in the simulator, in the DCL.
Oh, okay. And most of the Spain drone team is based in Spain and speaks Spanish, obviously. What is it like to be working with people who aren't necessarily in Spain or don't speak Spanish? Is that the language and the time zone an issue? For example, Shrimpy or Cloud, they're a bit further away. Do you find that to be more difficult, or has it been, there are always solutions?
With them I try to speak with Cloud and Squid, but I think the education here in Spain, the English is a little of difficult. We have less hours in the school, but we can defend a little English, but we speak with them, no problem. We are in contact.
Have they learned Spanish?
No, they don't learn Spanish. Sometimes a little. I think we speak with WhatsApp. I think they have learned something.
They do like me when I message you and I'm like, hola, and that's it.
Sí. Yes.
And Ian, interesting question. I'll ask the same one that I asked Blessed and AK. Is there someone in your team that's your favorite to practice with that you think is best to? And Star is in the chat. I'm just throwing that out there.
We actually all practice as a team, so
Mhm.
most of the people from China Dragons come together and we practice. So I don't have to pick a favorite. Everybody's there. Everybody's favorite. Yeah,
Do you
we did
practice?
practice with Duona, and it was pretty nice. She was doing amazing, and yeah, it was fun.
Cool. She has been having quite the season. It's been interesting to watch her. She's so young as well. There was a question though from the Twitch chat. So, who is your favorite not to practice with, but to compete against within your team?
I would have to go with creator for that one because I think we both set pretty similar times. We're on a pretty good pace. We both have pretty similar pace, I should say. So I really like competing with him. Races with him are always very, very close and down to the 100th or the 10th of a second. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a good competition. AK, who is your favorite to compete against within your team?
Within DCL Sim, it would probably be Jake Hammer. Me and him are just really close, and we've been friends for the last 3 years. So we have a lot of fun competing against each other.
Oh, that's really cool that you're
Yeah.
friends, before you were in the same team. That's awesome. How does it do you feel like with time, you've managed you guys have within the entire team, I mean, there's kind of more than just we're a team bond and it's actual friendship, or do you still feel like there's a bit of it's not exactly the same. It's still work kind of relationship, if that makes sense.
I would say it's definitely a friendship type of relationship. It's all fun when we're hanging out in the Discord during the race or just do whatever. I think during one of the races we were streaming Formula One through a computer and we're all sitting there watching it, waiting for our next heat. We have a lot of fun.
That does sound fun. Blessed, who would you say your favorite within DCL the game is your favorite pilot to compete against? So not necessarily for practice, but someone who challenges you in your team?
I think Squid is the similar level of me,
Hmm.
and I would like to compete with them. With
That's great.
of all DCL or only my team?
I mean, the question was your team, but also all DCL. Who do you think is your favorite
Ah,
pilot to compete?
uh, Vincent and Thunder. It's funny because we are friends, and I like to compete with them.
That's really
Singularity
cool.
and Thunder. Vincent.
Do you fly with them in real life races as well?
Yes. Next week, I have a meeting with Mark Spunya, Singularity.
Hmm.
And
To practice or to
we will
race?
to practice in a real term.
That's awesome. Have fun. And
Yes, yes.
AK, who do you think out of the whole DCL, so not your team, would you say is your favorite pilot to compete against?
It's a hard pick. There's a lot of pilots that are really close and are really fun to compete against. But one I've been recently trying to just make sure I'm beating is Raspberry, or it's spelled Razbri. Been really trying to make sure I'm beating him
Oh,
in
he's
every team trial. He's X-Blades, I think.
yeah, they're exploits.
Yeah.
Israeli pilot, I believe. I think. I start like it's
Uh,
mixing pilots up, but cool that you have someone
yeah.
that you get to compete against. And which is your favorite team to race against?
Not sure. That's a tough pick. They've all been really
Mm.
challenging, and I definitely like going up against the top teams with Raid and X-Blades. See how we stack up.
You're I don't have the exact stat, but I believe that you're one of the rare teams that actually beats Raiden. They
Oh,
go
that's
to
good for
grand
us.
final every race, but you within the round robin, I believe there have been a few times that you've actually managed to beat them. So
Nice.
and I know it's been your first race, so you might not have experience against all of them during a live race, but maybe during the team trials and things like that, within the game throughout the year, who would you say is your favorite pilot to race against?
Yeah, I haven't had much experience racing against a lot of them. So I still have to go with, I think, Creator and Star, because those guys I fly with them very often. And it's very fun flying against those two. But yeah, anybody who's on solo trials trying near my position, yeah, those guys are fun. Trying to beat them is fun.
And in your first race this season, which was your favorite race of the day?
Small final, of course.
Yeah, I feel like that
That
was an
was
obvious.
yeah.
um, Aside from the small final, which was your favorite race?
Uh, I think the first race in the second map. So when the map, I think that's race 4. So yeah,
I think so, yeah.
that race was really good for me, and also for the team. I think we got good points there. But yeah,
Awesome. So a question from RevCorp. Keep it coming, Twitch chat. Great questions. What track is your favorite or most flown track in DCL the game?
it has to be the draft selection track. That was
Yeah.
the one that I loved the most, and that's the one that got me to DCL. So I love that one.
Fair enough. Blessed, what track was your favorite track or the one that you fly the most within DCL the game?
I don't have any favorite track. I like all tracks are nice, but I like Bando. The scenario of Bando, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's pretty nice.
It's a very cool atmosphere. AK, which track would you say is your favorite or the one that you've flown the most?
I can't remember the name of it. It's in Lax though. I have a lot of fun on all the Lax tracks.
Was it during the
It was
race
in the
day?
draft. It wasn't a race day
Oh,
track. It was in the draft though. It
if it was the
was
draft, it was probably Lax from last year.
yeah. It was one of the last year Lax tracks. I definitely had a lot of fun on the most recent race at Roida. All those tracks were really fun.
Shout out to Pressure FPV, who is our chief track designer and does a great job for these. I've gotten good feedback from all pilots about the tracks. What would you say is the most difficult obstacle in general when you do drone racing? What do you struggle the most with?
Probably just when the elements change and they're really close together. It doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
matter what it is, but like on Siege where it's that spiral up to the weird crossbar uh, slalom thing. That was really hard for me just because it was a quick change.
And how do you manage to get past that?
Just
Is it just
keep putting
practice or?
just keep putting in reps on it and eventually figure it out.
Ion, what would you say the most challenging obstacle for you is?
Same answer as AKDrones, I think. It's not one particular element that I find most challenging, but when you put up certain elements in a certain order, it gets really hard.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And Blessed, what would you say is the obstacle that's the most difficult for you?
I think the more difficult is I hate the M of McDonald's. I think it's the most difficult gate. I don't like.
That was Lake Zurich last year, right?
Yes,
It's
it's small.
it's uh, it was I can get that that's challenging. What Blessed is your favorite type of obstacle? You're muted.
I think my favorite is the ladder
Okay.
of go orbits
Yeah,
up or down. I don't care, but I my favorite is ladder.
cool. AK, what would you say your favorite obstacle is?
I'm pretty much the same as Blessed. I like the spiral ups and spiral downs. Just fun when you get them right and they just feels good.
Do you prefer up or down?
Either direction, they're both fun.
Fair enough.
Not really sure.
Ion, which would you say is your favorite obstacle?
Corkscrews and ladders both are pretty much up there as my favorite.
So everyone just like love ladders. I mean, feel like ladders
Yeah.
is the most common answer is either everyone's least favorite or most favorite. You're one side or the other with ladders. It's like Marmite. Hate it or love it. There's no in between. Do you have a food like that in the US? Because this is a very English thing, but it's like either you love it or you hate it.
I mean, I'm that way with peanut butter, but
Not everyone
Not
likes
really.
peanut
I don't know
butter.
if. Nah, I don't. But
Okay, but you know.
let's see.
You know, we were
Broccoli.
friends.
Broccoli.
Yeah, that's fair. Any green food, to be fair,
Yeah.
has like not a big taste. But depending on how you cook it,
Yeah.
this is what I've learned about vegetables. Ion, is there any dish in India, or at least your region of India, that kind of any special food that either people they hate it or they love it, and there is no in between?
I don't know much about that. Yeah. I mean, as you said, if cooked in a particular way, I eat everything. I'm a little bit of a picky eater. So yeah, if it's cooked
Same.
right, I will eat it.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. When you have the luxury of growing up with parents who know how to cook, it makes like life difficult, because then you don't want to eat anything that's not perfect. There's in the Twitch chat someone who's asking you, Ion, do you like Vegemite? Do you have Vegemite or Marmite in India?
Yes, we do in few stores, but yeah, I do
Okay.
not like Vegemite.
Good answer. That is a
It's like
solid
Marmite.
answer. I'm going to start blocking anyone who likes veggie or Marmite just because I have that power. And yo. Blessed, is there any particular dish or special food, dessert, anything in Spain that people they either love or they hate?
I think here in Barcelona we like the bread with oil, tomato, and salt. I think it's the they like this food. And hate, uh, I don't like kebab.
That is
From
a
kebab,
bold statement.
I don't like kebab.
I
My
don't either,
stomach
but
broken. You like kebab? Yes.
no. To be fair, I don't eat meat, so it's difficult for me to like kebab. But most kebab shops I go to, the quality of the food is not great, and I agree with you. Your stomach does not feel great after that. I feel like there are people in Turkey who probably must come to Western Europe and see what a kebab is and think, what have you done? Because it's probably really good over there. But to be fair, I feel like you must feel the same, Ion, about what Europeans, or at least Western Europeans, have done to your cuisine. One of the best cuisines in the world, and we reduced it to like disgusting supermarket cottage cheese. It's awful.
Yep.
Sorry. So we're digressing. Actual drone-related questions. Food is important. It literally keeps you alive. Then make sure to eat and drink enough, everyone, especially at the moment. It's quite warm in the Northern Hemisphere, so please drink a lot of water and stay hydrated, because otherwise you will die. That has been your PSA of the day. Ion, what is your most memorable crash? Completely unrelated.
I think it has to be with SSX in the race, actually.
Okay.
I had in the race, it was like I had third place and I was sitting pretty comfortable there. One of the SSX pilots had crashed, and I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to me. There was no pressure, and I just slammed the gate. And yeah, that hurt.
That I can imagine. It's really frustrating. AK, what would you say your most memorable crashes?
I'd say it was probably in the last race where we were going up against SDT, and I wrecked and couldn't figure out where I was in that corkscrew 180 section that was all really tight, and I took off and apparently missed a gate and got like halfway to the finish before I realized, and fortunately lost some good points there. Was pretty
Unfortunate.
disappointed with that one.
Have you ever had in real life crashes where you end up like actually breaking a drone?
Yeah, I've had some of those. I think my most memorable real life crash was a friend had hit a gate. His battery came off and it like tumbled, came way out from nowhere, and I came through, smacked the battery and his falling battery in it. Yeah, broke stuff. Yeah.
That sounds intense. Blessed, what would you say your most memorable crash, either in DCL the game or real life racing, is?
In real life, when I start in Indron Park, it was a one competition in Indron Park, and in the last gate I have a crash, and we are near, and I crashed in the final gate. And in DCL, I have crashed a lot of times. But a memorable in DCL, all crashes was similar in the DCL game.
Okay. There's a question from Kite FPV. Kite keeps coming up with the questions. During practice, so Bless, do you restart the race every time you make a mistake? Or do you get control of your drone and finish the race? Do you prefer just starting from zero or just continuing?
Normally I restart because I want to get my best time, but
Mhm.
depends if I'm training for a race or I'm beating my time. If I'm beating my time, I always restarting. But if
Okay.
I'm training for the race, I never restart.
Okay. AK, what would you say? What do you do?
When I'm just learning the track, I'll usually regain control and finish out each run, maybe the first five or six packs, and then I'll start just hitting reset as I start getting more comfortable and just start needing to shave off the time.
Okay. Ion.
Yeah, I hit a reset a lot. I've been trying to do that a bit less now because it really impacts consistency in the long run. So yeah, but if I have to set a time, then I'll keep hitting reset, but I should get back my consistency. So I don't want to do that anymore.
Rue in the chat is also talking about working on consistency. Consistency is key, as I have learned. I had another question, but I forgot what it was. So Twitch chat, if you have any additional questions. So we do also have some footage from some real live racing. AK, maybe you can talk to us about the race that you were at. What race was this at all?
This was just a video from I went to Jake Hammer's house and was practicing with him. So this is just some practice footage from around, from his house.
He has that garden.
He has, yes. This is his cousin's house that they have a really big field behind, which it's really good for practicing.
Okay, that is indeed a big field. And
yes.
so those are the the gates that you set up, or are they Jake's, or is it kind of a mix of both?
They're Jake's because he lives quite a ways away.
Does he
But
live
yeah,
in
then this
Alaska away as well?
no, he lives in Michigan.
Ah, okay, that's like.
So then this is at my house here,
Oh,
my
you have a
backyard.
trampoline?
Yep, we have a
Unrelated.
trampoline.
Do you ever like challenge yourself to bounce on the trampoline at the same time as you're piloting?
No, I haven't thought of that. It's a good idea.
I feel like
But
if ever you do that, we would be very interested in a video
okay.
of this for research purposes.
This is see if I can
But
make that happen.
it's really great that you can, practice in the backyard, or you have Jake Hammer, who's also part
Yeah.
of Quad Force One, for those who don't necessarily know and who are new here. So yeah, J.K. Hammer is a teammate that you get to practice with, which is awesome. And Blessed, I believe we have footage of a race. What was this race?
It was Iberian Drone League. His Arcex is here too. Okay. My crush. It's Iberian Drone League of League of Spain.
So was this an official race or just practicing?
No, it's a official race.
Okay.
Its name is Iberian Drone League.
Oh, okay, very interesting. Cool. And what position did you end up coming in?
Our team gets third place, but it's like 2 years, 2 or 3 years. It was in 2 years,
Okay.
and we get three place with UPCT. It's a team of university,
Okay.
and now and ECDT I think gets first in this season. No, second SDT, and X Blades first. X Blades
Okay.
also is in Iberian Dream League.
But they're a British team. Are non-Iberian teams allowed to compete in it?
Excuse me?
Are teams from other countries allowed to compete in the tournament?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a League of Spain, but if you want to compete in this league, you can. It's not only for Spanish pilots. Uh,
Okay.
Dark X Strange are French pilots, and they come here.
Okay. Cool. There's another audience question. How many lipos have you puffed up? I have no idea what that means. So, AK, maybe you, who is a youth, you understand what this means and can explain this to me.
It's when you fly the batteries really hard and overdo it on them, and they puff up instead of when they break. Basically, they kind of
Okay.
get
I've done
puffy.
that before. And so, how many times have you done this?
I've lost count a lot. I go through a lot of batteries.
Fair enough. Ion, how many times have you done this to a battery?
Not that many times, 3 or 4 times. That's it.
Okay, you're still counting.
Yeah.
And one day you'll get to the point where you're not counting anymore. Blessed. How many times have you made a battery puff up so that it essentially gets, I guess, too hot?
I think like 10 batteries, but mm, batteries normally in my case
Hmm.
gets die for the old batteries, but for a crash, little times like 2 or 3. But for old batteries, like 20 or 30.
Okay,
Uy.
that's a substantial amount. We have another question, which I actually quite would like to know. Blessed, what type of music do you like listening to when you're flying? So in real life or sim, or no music? Do you?
Yes, I play with music. With music, I like
Mm,
one one band. They his name is Legency. It's like rock.
okay.
Rock. I like. I get motivation.
Are they a Spanish band or Catalan band?
No, it's English band.
No, don't. To be fair, I don't know much about rock, so I probably don't know them. So, do you usually rock music in general, or are there other types of music that you sometimes listen to when you're practicing?
When I practice, I listen that band Legency. I like
Okay.
always. I'm practicing with music. It's relaxing for me and more funny.
Yeah. And AK, what type of music do you like to listen to when you're flying?
I'm kind of all over the board. A little bit of some remix music, some rock, some just some other all sorts of stuff. Anything that'll just help me focus.
Do you tend to stick to US music or general from all over the world?
Mostly tend to stick to US music. Haven't
Okay.
really haven't really ventured out too far with that.
There's some good stuff out there. I keep uh I would suggest watching Eurovision. The music is terrible, but the show is very entertaining. I mean, it's
Definitely
not
will have to look at
terrible.
that.
It's not terrible. It's like typical chart music, but it's
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
they wear over the top costumes and have like 500 backup dancers, and it's very fun to watch if you're a fan of these kinds of things. Um, Ion, what kind of music, or if you listen to music, what would it be?
I listen to EDMs when I'm flying, and I only pick one song for a track, so I just play one song on repeat if for one track.
So what do you associate one song to one track, right?
Yes, yes. I don't know. I think it helps me with consistency. I would like to think that, and it's fun.
So what song did you do this with the tracks from the Writer race?
Yes, on only the second tracks. So in the first tracks, I tried no music, and
Okay.
that didn't go well. But yeah, the second time I did pick out a song and just play that on repeat.
So what song was it?
I'll have to look it up. I think it was
And
Islands from some band.
okay.
It's
A-
EDM, so there are a lot of small bands and stuff. They're not mainstream. So yeah.
And for the draft selection video, video, sorry, that we
Mhm.
saw the video. So the draft selection race, did you have a song for that one?
Yes, yes. When I'm practicing, I just let YouTube music go on mix and
Okay.
get every song out. But yeah, I try to find a song that I really like and get into the groove, and that's when I did the shared stats, or what do you call that in the draft selection when you count the time. So
Mm.
you got to do the race where the time is counted, right?
Oh, the attempt, like we just say attempt, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So the
I don't
official
think there's a
attempt.
technical term.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So for those who don't know what Ion is referring to, in the draft selection, we do it in two kind of phases, which are coming up, by the way, on the 25th of July in DCL the game. You have the qualification phase, so 4 tracks that have been flown before that you can fly an unlimited amount of times, and it will take the best time from each track, add them up, and that will decide your ranking. Then the top pilots from PS4, Xbox, and Steam get invited to the draft selection race, which is a live race. We don't stream it like we do the pro races, but you do have 24 hours within DCL the game to do the best possible time. You have a limited amount of practice. However, you only have 5 attempts to put in your best time. You can't just put in a great time and say, okay, this is my attempt. That's not how it works, because that would be too easy. And the idea is to mimic race conditions. So when you feel ready, you click time or attempt or whatever it's called, and then you fly. And if you crash, you get a terrible time, that's it. That's one of your attempts that's been used, and you have 5 of those. So the idea of this is not because we're sadistic and hate you. It's because teams want to know how you perform under race conditions. So in a race, you don't get to hit reset. It's not how it works. And so we want to ensure that you are ready to be racing. AKN took part in the draft, had to do this, and are now in teams that are, getting to small finals and winning them. So shows the system works. What would be, Ion, your final piece of advice to anyone who wants to partake in the draft selection that starts on the 25th of July? Yes, go for it.
Yeah, just keep calm, keep cool, don't stress too much, and try and improve on your time. It's pretty often where you see people just jumping on the time boards. Don't do that. Take it at your own pace and pace yourself, and you'll get there. Trust me.
And Blessed, what would be what's the word? What would be your advice to anyone who wants to take part in the draft selection?
I think get patience, and if you can beat the time, practice a lot of hours and get the close lines close, and no more. Get close.
Right. And AK, any other advice that you want to add about the draft selection that you also took part in?
As Ion said, just take it at your own pace. Just fly the track till you're comfortable, and then if you make a mistake on an attempt, just go back, practice a little more, calm yourself down, and get comfortable for your next attempt.
Is there any food that you eat on race day that you feel helps you?
No, not really. Just I usually don't even eat during the race. I just try to drink water, and because I mean they've been in the middle of the night for me the last 2 races.
Sure. Yeah, that's not ideal for you. I can't promise that the times are going to change. I don't actually know the times, but unfortunately, they are Eurocentric, which is not ideal for you. Soz about that.
Yeah, not great, but still fun.
Well, hopefully, when we do real life locations, because you'll be at the location, it will be the right time
Yeah.
for you. And Ion, is there any special food that helps you on race? Don't know.
No, no food as such. I do like to have a few Cokes just sitting here, Diet Cokes, and just keep sipping that nicely. So yeah, but
Di-
no food as such. Yes.
Why Diet Coke?
Okay. Many people are gonna hate me for this, but I like the flavor better
Do you know
than
I've heard
real
that
Coke.
before actually?
Really?
Yeah, I was also very surprised. Less hateful and just what, but I respect people and whatever. At least you like peanut. You like peanut butter, right?
No.
What is wrong with all of you? This generation, really. Can we do like a freeze? Blessed. Is there a particular snack or drink that you have during a race day that helps you?
When I go practice, I take water and pistachios. I like this. I like go to the forest and drink water, pistachios, and fly my drone.
That does sound quite nice, actually. You heard it here, folks. Stay hydrated, drink water. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. It's been a blast. If you have any last messages, people you want to thank, or shout out to your pets, up to you, AK.
I just want to say thank you to my sponsors, 533, GemFan, Foxeer, and am I gonna forget one?
Black Sheep. Don't
Oh,
you guys
yeah,
have like
Black Sheep, Team Black Sheep.
Sheep on?
Yeah, and thank you to
It's
Quad Force One.
and Ion. Any particular person or thing you want to thank?
Sorry.
I think AKDrones missed one, but we don't know which one it is, so we're just gonna keep going. Wait,
Thank you
Foxeer
to my sponsor
533.
page.
PFD.
Yep.
What do they do?
They are a big heavy lift drone company. They just support me for racing.
Okay.
They fly all. They inspect power lines and other stuff like that.
Cool. Ion, if you have more things you want to say, now's your time.
Yeah, I would like to thank my parents and my friends for supporting me all this way here. I would like to thank all our sponsors listed out here and also Inside FPV for supporting me, my Indian career, and helping me get to this place.
It's really sweet. You're getting, all of you, a lot of good luck and great messages from the Twitch chat. So thank you, Twitch chat. Blessed, is there anyone you want to thank?
I'm grateful with my team, Spain Drone team, and also with Perpetuumcoin that we are here in DCL for them. I'm grateful with DCL for organize this special event. and my sponsors, the people who supports me, and I think it's all.
Cool, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well, thank you to all of you again for taking the time. I know it's not easy with your schedules and time zones, so we appreciate it. Thank you for Twitch chat, for watching, for participating, and for just oh wow, it's on me. For just generally being our fans. We appreciate you always. Reminder that there is a draft selection taking place on the 25th of July, in case you didn't understand that the first 500 times I said it. And we hope for those who want to go pro to see you there. And if you're starting out in flying or just want to fly for fun, you can always fly on DCL the game. It's not just about being a pro, it's about having fun and making friends along the way. And I will leave you finally with the news that on the 10th of September, the Drone Champions League will be back. We have 2 more races until the end of the season. Still virtual, unfortunately, but hopefully that changes next year. So the first upcoming one will be in Lake Zurich, which we are very excited about because the 3 of you will potentially be racing there, and maybe you'll even all race each other. How cool would that be? Thanks everyone for watching and hope to see you soon. Peace out.